What's up, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of This Week in Madden Show 241. It's a lot of shows. Reminder, we do this every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. We've got a mic check coming in hot in the chat. A little bit of a different change. Here's what we're going to go over on the show tonight, Gibs. Secrets of the bunch. You got some ways to beat some of that popular zone defense out there.
Ways to help you beat it.
Pulling Prime Legends. We're going to talk about how you can pull Prime Legends. Well, not how you can pull them, but which ones you should upgrade. We're going to talk about the best ways to stop Michael Vick. Give you like 5 tips on slowing him down. Then we are going to talk about 3-4 Defense 101. Everything you need to know if you're new to the game. What's the over? What's the under? What's the even? What is all that stuff? We're going to talk about offensive adjustments, key ones to make. We're going to talk about cover 2 zone and beating that. And then we're going to do add a little bit more plays from the Bills offense to go over that. A little bit about how to stop halfback pitch as well. Good stuff?
Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant in the room? Now we both have Mac-top computers?
That we both have computers on the desk. The desk of which 2 human beings once did not fit at.
Correct, and that's why I'm stating that this desk the entire time has been big enough for the both of us.
But
a lot of people say
ate
this
up all the
stuff.
space.
Zfarls, you're a huge personality. SGibs is just this little minion, and you have a huge personality. This room, this world, this Madden community is not big enough for the both of us. But this is me, Olive Branch, extending my laptop space, giving you the desk.
No.
You're still hanging off the side because you're a weirdo, and you like to straddle things, and you're straddling my desk. It makes me very uncomfortable. But I'm going to let it fly. I'm going to let it stand, and I'm going to let it just be the way this is. I'm going to move on over, slide over, and let you have a little bit of space.
Can we also talk about how we're Team America right now? Look at your shirt pocket.
America.
Look at your shirt pocket. Look at my hat.
America.
That was not planned.
America.
That was not planned.
All right, Gibbs, let's get into the questions for this week. First up, big news today on the @Madden League Ops Twitter account. That is an official account. Make sure to give it a follow. The Madden Classic round of 64 starts tomorrow. That's Thursday. The official matchups are out for PS4 and Xbox One.
Ooh, big time matchups.
Winners on Thursday will advance to a group stage on Friday. Top 3 of 4 will go from each group into games on Saturday. 12 on each console. Top 2 on each console eventually will be moving on. That's 4 total. They'll join the other 4 total. Skimbo, Tweez, Chaos, and Stevie J from the Challenger events. And that's how we'll get the field of 8 for the Madden Classic. Gibbs, here are the Xbox matchups. This is the tougher console, is what the community's saying. I see one right off the bat. Stiffmeister versus AKG. Is Stiffmeister playing some of the best ball he's played since Madden 16?
It could be a Stiffmeister game. I mean, tight slots, that's what he won the Madden 16 championship off of. Shout out to Steven Jackson. Remember how dominant of a performance he had? Those aggro catches downfield. You're not seeing the aggressive catches in this year's game, but it is a tight slots game. That is a Stiffmeister game, right? If you remember last year's offense, the single back jumbo had a lot of similarities to what you saw to single back tight slots. So you could certainly say this is a very a good thing, a good sign for all you Stiffmeister fans out there. He could be back. This could be the year. He could make some noise, and he's looking good in the tight slots.
Now, Serious Mo made a run to the finals in Philly, but he did lose, so he's back in the single elimination. He's taken on more pitch, who you might know is Shakobi, who's gone 24-0 or 25-0 in a couple weekend leagues. Tough player, runs the pitch. What do you know about Shakobi? I believe you've played him. I
played Shakobi, and it was a lot of what you saw from the meta. But let me tell you what, he is he executed to perfection. He beat me by 3-6 somewhere in that ballpark. It was a 1-score game. But when I saw his name pop up on in the game, I was like, oh god, because you see it on top of the leaderboard, you know that he's got a 280 win record, about 20 plus losses. So that's a tough matchup. I mean, if you're Mo, that's not the opening round game you wanted.
That was not the one. Dub.W against Franchise GG, 2 players that made it last year and are both looking to have good performances. Obviously, W has the Madden Bowl Championship, but definitely needs more. Kerry Q, who runs that Deuce Close scheme, he's number 1. He made the championship last year, very good player. You see Problem coming in on the right side. He's playing SC. So, guys, if you're streaming your games, if you're a player and you're thinking about, we got Rose Bowl against Joel, I believe, in the bottom right-hand corner. Stream those games. Let us know what time on Thursday. If you're going to go live, we'll make sure we got some folks out there covering those. And then PS4 gets Joe Rice. You remember him? He's
Big
the
Joe.
#1 seed on PS4. Bam, a.k.a. Skeeman, against Killer Mike, who won the Seahawks Club Series last year. Our guy, Master Gamer, is on there on PS4. Shugs has been playing for seemingly ever. He makes it. Pony Montana at 30. You know, he'll probably stream his game.
I'll tell you what.
6 Cents, who made it like 2-3 years ago, still fighting out there.
2-3 years ago. Anti-Hero was a competitor in the Vikings Club Series Championship last year, so I see him there, number 31. And I recognize the name Chris Johnson 28.
Yeah.
I recognize that from many moons ago, many Madden competitive moons ago. I'm talking Madden 10, Madden 11 time frame. So that's an interesting name to see up there.
D. Jones as well, the biggest, I would say, the villain, the guy they love to hate. D. Jones loves to
he's the guy I love to love.
Brings it on.
The guy I love to love.
I love D. Jones. He says he's going to flood people. He's active on Twitter, on social.
Fantastic.
Hey, that's what, hey, I don't make the sentiment. Number 17, so we'll see what he can do. Those are the PS4 matchups. Gibs, some good games going on there. Let's move on to the next question. In the mailbag, Steel Town, I think you start out with this one, Gibs. What is the best tight slots defense, and what is the best halfback pitch defense in Madden 18? So it's kind of the meta right now. You're seeing it. We gave away the scheme last week, Buffalo Bills playbook. If you've never seen it, single back tight slots.
Yep, we're going to get it for you.
People come out in halfback pitch, and they also call the play deep post. We'll link to it in the chat. We'll put it in the description. Make sure you go and watch this. It's a 3-part scheme. YouTube.com/SGibs, YouTube.com/Zfarls. You can check it out. I'm going to come out on the pitch. Sure. You let us know kind of how to slow it down.
So there's 2 ways I like to slow down. I personally think right now the best run defense in the game is actually from nickel 3-3-5 normal cover 4 drop. I like it. I think it gives you good security with your cover 4 shell. You get good personnel. But primarily why I like it better than some other sets is I like its ability to be very versatile in terms of pass coverage. You don't have as many guys near the line of scrimmage, which allows you to kind of move guys, tinker, get them in spots to protect against the pass. I think 3-4 also really good at stopping the run. 4-4 can be good at stopping the run, but it struggles with its outside flat support. There is no stock cover 2 from that set with the outside corners in flat zones. But I like nickel 3-3-5. I like cover 4 drop as a standard run defense. We'll also get into the play Tampa 2. You could call it the problem D, right, to help slow down the pitch, and we'll get into that in a second here. A good thing about cover 4 drop, you can come out in it, and your quick audible to the right is the cover 2, Tampa 2, the problem D, right? Yeah. So just something to note there. Now, this is the way I like to run it. So I like to pinch.
I'll just show you how the pitch works if you guys haven't seen it. Sure. You can flip it. We talked about it, so we'll talk about these cover 4 setups.
So what I like to do first and foremost, I like to pinch the linebackers. So this is a very small housekeeping thing about pinch the linebackers. When you break huddle, I'm sure everyone out there has watched and played many games. When you break the huddle, you can't quickly get on and click onto a guy and move him around the screen, right? You can't replicate this in practice, but what happens is when you pinch your linebackers, that allows you to quickly get to your safeties and get into position to make a play on the ball. So what I like to do is this. I like to pinch the linebackers. It gives you that little extra split second where you can click onto the safeties and get them into position. And I like to move the safeties down till about linebacker depth, just outside the hips of these defensive ends. See how Thomas outside the hip, and then you got Chancellor outside the hip. Now, what I like to do next is I take the linebacker, and if I think it's going to be a run, like a wham to the right or dive right, what I do is I move them into that gap. I make it look like that. Now, this hurts you if you run to the left side, but it's all about anticipation. And you can stock, leave him there, but what I find is when he's left there, he'll get kind of caught up behind the center to tackle. But when I shoot him there, he's going to help shoot some lanes a little better. But then I sit back with my other linebacker in a hook zone right here, and I just try to play run support. The safeties usually shoot gaps, especially against those inside runs. You can see right there, I'm able to shoot wide and stop that. Now this time run a halfback dive, because the halfback pitch, this isn't a great run defense, but it's not a terrible run defense. But this is, again, how I set it up.
This is a good overall base play to come out against this popular tight slot.
This is overall a great base play in general for anything. But you can see that canali I had right there, and that's me staying back far enough, moving the linebackers, making sure the offensive linemen are looking at Wagner on that side. I move Chancellor down, and then I'm going to kind of hover right here, snap with the ball, and then I got a canali, and that canali is going to force you to go right unless you want to take my one-on-one on that edge. Now, I just want to show you what this looks like here if you run the ball to the right or left on the halfback dive. So if you run halfback dive on the left, and I'm in this lane, it can kind of get a prop. Like, it's not terrible, but you see you lose the canali, right? But this is all about trying to create that canali where I'm going to get a lane to just kind of lay a hit stick on your running back. So it's just right here, inside run, snap of the ball, and then I can get there and then make a big play. So that's how I standard want to play inside run support. The other thing you can do is if you're truly worried about the safety play, you can bring them in the box like here, right?
But then you really lose out against the pitch.
But that's the problem is, like, yes, now your pitch D is going to struggle. Like, because they're in, and, like, if you get, that's the problem, you lose your support on the outside. So that's just something to monitor. But you want to bring the safeties up because they play great run support, and that's the kind of the way you want to stop interior runs. Now, outside runs, what I would first tell you is the Tampa 2 is fantastic at it because of this outside blitz angle here.
Yeah.
Now, it's really about, it doesn't have to be this set, but what's good about this set, you see how he blows up the run in the backfield. What this set will do is, coming out in the cover 4, it gives you a good pass D, gives you a good blitz that you have from that Tampa 2 for pass coverage. So you're versatile in if they don't run pitch, they run pitch, whatever they do. But you're going to force them out of the pitch because they can't run. They're going to try and run to the right. But you could call any formation where there's a slot blitzer, and you're going to have success at stopping the pitch.
So with the pitch, one thing that makes it good, right, is you can quickly flip it.
Sure.
So how do you factor that into your pitch defense? Because obviously the Tampa 2 is mostly left.
I just make a predetermined read where I think they're going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll run it like this, and then I like to pinch my linebackers, right? Now in this instance, you can't get too greedy in cover 2. You can't bring them up too far because you get burnt deep. But if I would think you were going to run right, I would just I would make sure my guy over there, and I would just make sure I'm cheating pretty well. Mm-hmm. Get over, and then you got to scrape, and it still wasn't terrible, but he didn't get blown up in the backfield. The key is blowing the run up in the backfield. And what I want to show you here is I'm going to go to how about the 3-3-5 wide? Let's go Tampa 2, 3-3-5 wide. Let's do the same thing. Base align press. The base align press is the key to slowing down the pitch because you have defenders out wide. All right. So let me show you this. If I blitz shed off this edge, and if I just use a Wagner here, you run the pitch, I'm going to be in pretty good support to slow you down. And it's because it's all about blowing up that pulling offensive lineman, getting to him first, not letting him kick and get upfield to push upfield. That's the success in terms of stopping the pitch out wide. Now, the strength of the pitch, why you need more pitch, because you could always flip it to the other side.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the game. That's what makes it extremely difficult to stop you. Now you're one-on-one. That's the key to the pitch. The pitch is so effective because you get one-on-one situations on outside corners, and you know what one of the best moves in the game is? As a running back,
spin.
Left trigger, B, spin move. LaDainian Tomlinson, Shady McCoy, all these guys with fantastic spin moves. It just absolutely devastates defenders, and if you get by that one guy, see ya.
So you would recommend just cheating? You wouldn't over-recommend like flipping your defense or blitzing a linebacker and throwing him out there?
Listen,
because then you're just
if you want to do this, I don't think that's a terrible idea because you're going to get there and see how it gets money. You're going to force them to throw to that flat. Madden 18, you change the thing again, so it says SGibs stinks.
What does it say? It's too far away, I can't read it.
Listen, Madden 18 is a game of, I think where some frustration, and I know some frustration for me when I'm playing, comes from, it's a game where you just can't have one setup, set it and forget it. You have to always be changing. You have to always be making different adjustments. And right now, there's no one defense, no one play that you can call all game long on the outside of the ball and really be like, oh, I'm going to have success. I mean, I will say defensively, cover 2 cloud flats. That's pretty close to call that all game, actually.
Yeah,
I'll take that back on defense.
So that's some ways you can start to stop tight slots in the halfback pitch. You got to be ready for it. Cheat to one side, blitz the other side, and that's going to be your best, most balanced way to do it rather than trying to blitz off of both sides. Gibs, quick question in the chat from Tommy the God. Remember, we take your questions live on the show. Do you think he should go for Legend Atwater or Team of the Week Honey Badger Matthew?
Legend Atwater.
More hit power, neither at 90 zone.
6'3", he's Atwater 6'3", he's got 93 hit power. He's one of the better users in the game. Best part when you get a pick with him and you go into the end zone, carries the ball like a loaf of bread.
Gotta like that.
Gotta love it.
All right, here we go. Back into the mailbag. We'll talk a little bit more about tight slots. Pass defense. Do you find that the pitch is the straw that stirs the drink, and then the throws off of it just stop the deep post? How do you feel about some of the other plays in tight slots?
The deep post is the thing you got to slow down, because that's a one-play touchdown. That's the play they want to throw. I mean, you got to think of it this way: like, you're going to give up drags no matter what defense you're in. So like, there's very few like specific defenses that you can run that slow down drags or completely lock them up. So every defense is going to give up drags. So you might as well try and take away the one thing that makes the passing plays of tight slots effective. It's the deep post and halfback wheel, and it's the deep post in literally deep post.
Yes. Okay, this is the question of the night from Benny Joe. They're already talking about it in the chat.
Yep.
How to beat cover 2 with a deep middle linebacker. So
yep.
People say, how do you beat cover 2 in Madden 18? And then everyone says, throw deep in the middle. Throw deep down the seam. So let's go out and show you an actual play we would use to beat cover 2, and then we'll show you the play that he's talking about, where you actually drop a defender deep in the middle. You see a lot of players do it, and it's pretty challenging to it takes away that deep killer cover 2. So if they just call a simple cover 2 and you're backed up and you have a little bit more room and you're not facing Earl Thomas, all these caveats, you can simply attack cover 2 deep down the middle. Maybe you throw it to Julio. Boom, you bang that right there. Right, you split them, you get a huge gain, and that's what makes cover 2 beatable, manageable, and because you can give up such a big play. So how you take that away is you drop the middle linebacker in a deep zone, you faced it, it's tough. So give us an example of what that looks like.
Looks like this.
Looks like Bobby Wagner.
Loud flats.
Oops, sorry, deep in the middle. And now I throw Julio, and I got a linebacker standing there. He does not always make the play, but he often just stands in the way. He forces you to drop it. He tips it. You don't want to throw it, and it's tough. It's really tough, because then the area of the field that he is in, you know, you can there, but there's a user in the middle, and an above-average user is going to make that pick. He's not going to get sucked down too far, and that's what's going to happen, Gibbs. So, are you going to play a cat and mouse game with this, where you know, on the user side, you're throwing the streak so that if they drop too low, you can hit that?
But you see the safeties clamp down.
They come down and run, and it's tough. So, do you have thoughts on beating this defense? Also, you know, you have deep crossing routes and stuff like that where you want to hit on the other sideline. That's one way you can go about it. Do you feel like you get enough time in the pocket to kind of hit those? Say we go to like bunch trail, what would you set up?
Well, it's not bunch trail specifically, but I want you to quick out to the right inside post. The route that you specifically want to look at and find is the route to Sanu, Senior. That route is in a lot of formations and a lot of playbooks. In combination, don't leave Hooper over there.
Can I leave him over there?
Yeah, leave him over there.
Can't block him.
The route you want to focus on is the route to Sanu, in combination with a vertical and some type of drag to pull away Sanu. The route to Sanu, drag Hooper.
Okay.
The tight end. That route combination right there is going to help open up this route to Sanu as it breaks to the left sideline. Now, the one problem with this is you need a lot of time in the pocket. And if your opponent recognizes it, they can use it. But if you just need a route, a play, like, that's going to get the guy open. Right? That will consistently beat these cloud flats. The problem that you run into is this. Now, go back to that, right? When you play upper echelon players, you play the best players in the world. You run this a few times, they're going to be well aware of what you're doing.
Right.
So the second they see that route combination, they're also going to send pressure at you. The second you see that route combination, this is what happens. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's open? No, it's not. They're just going to take it away. They're going to literally use it and take it away. Well, now your dope play that beats cover 2 cloud flats is just ruined, right? So some of the things that you can do off of it, you know, you need to really play the dink and dunk underneath game, right? So, for example, run that same play, drag Hooper, drag Freeman, okay? Now what ends up happening here is I'm going to roll and take away Sanu, and I got double drags now. So now you're really forced to go to the drag. You're forced to go there, and that's the game you play. That is what you do, and what becomes difficult is 3rd and 2. Okay, 3rd and 2 is the worst because your opponent has the context of the situation. They know what's going on. They're a good user player. You're playing a great competitive player. So what do they do in a 3rd and 2 situation? You're like, oh, they're going to go user Sanu, snap the ball, go, drag, take it away.
I want to throw the Sanu route now, but I can't because the pressure
time.
came in.
So that's what happens. That's the problem that you run into. Now, we could get into, is this time to get into what we're doing to the secret of the bunch? Or that for later?
Let's do a little tease, Gibs.
Okay. All right.
It's what we in the biz call a tease.
A tease, okay, yeah.
So why don't you guys head on over, because we're going to keep going over this on This Week in Madden for the folks that watch this show live every Wednesday night at 8. We'll get into that. But if you're going to miss it, because we're going to end this video, you go over to youtube.com/SGibs, and you see the secret of the bunch that we talked about that's going to help you beat this.
The quads bunch.
The
not
quads bunch.
Not just any bunch. The secret of the quads
bunch. And it's a lesson that it's going to learn and you're going to get help with. Okay. So those are some ways you can beat cover 2 deep. Hopefully that helps. You want them to do that. So you've got to force them to play that deep route. And if they don't, so say it's like 3rd and 7 and they're like, I'm not going to drop them deep that time, you got to make them pay with a backbreaker post. Because every now and then, if it's like 3rd and 5, I go, I'm not dropping Bobby Wagner deep today.
Yeah.
Not on this play, because he's been beating me over the middle, he's been exposing my user. I'm going to leave him there, and then I'm going to drop short. But then they stop kind of looking over the top once you've been dropping the middle deep quite a bit. Okay. We're going to keep going through the mailbag here, and then we're going to talk about the secret of the old bunch. I know there's a question in here about it. Before we do that, we're going to talk about the best Twitch Prime legends to make. So let's do that real quick here. We're going to go on over to Mudhead.
That's not it.
Goofy. And we're going to talk about the best Twitch legends to make. So these are your Twitch Prime legends. When you actually log into Madden today, there's a little screen with 3 steps to how you get these Twitch Prime legends for you. And then you can actually boost them up to this 90 versions. So I think most people made the Reggie White early.
Fantastic item.
And it's a very, very good item. Would you recommend making him as one, or would you go for Dent over White now that Dent's come out later? He's pretty comparable in some areas.
Yeah, I like the Reggie White.
I don't know. We're not getting.
We're not getting the item to pop up. But listen, I like the Reggie White, and then believe it or not, the guy I'm going to say next. I know everyone's going to think I'm going to say Rodney Harrison, but I'm not. I'm going to say Bruce Matthews. And the reason for it is right now, currently in the competitive landscape, there's and shout out to my guy Holdfast Hope he's the one that's like noticed this, how the importance of offensive linemen to the current meta of Madden 18. There are very few obtainable offensive linemen that have the 90 pass block threshold. So that's where Bruce Matthews can be obtainable for people if you're Twitch Prime members. It's going to take a couple tokens to get there, but he meets that threshold for you, and he's obtainable. So he's going to get on your offensive line. He's going to have that good pass block. He'll be able to combat a lot of these pass rushers that you're seeing out there. Because what he's noticing, and now I go back and take a look at it, is the following. You see that it's very hard to get these legend offensive linemen. They have a lot of coins, and they're hard to obtain. On the flip side, on the defensive side, it's very easy to get defensive linemen that have power moves of 90 plus. James Harrison is the guy that comes to mind. He's like 68 speed, but I believe he's got 91 power move, and he's an 83 elite. He doesn't go for a ton of coins, but now you're at a disadvantage because it's easy to obtain James Harrison, and now your offensive line, you're getting guys like 83 gold or 80 gold, 75 gold. Those are the guys you're putting out on the offensive line. So you're already at a disadvantage there. So as this pulls up here, so you can see his pass block's 90, run block 90, right?
Solid. He's very, very good offensive lineman. So
it's huge.
Reggie White flies in. He's got 90 strength, 87 block shield with 89 power move.
78 speed too.
But Dent comes in at 80 speed with 88 strength, 89 block shed, and 89 power move. So they're pretty similar. It really, here or there. I would assume a lot of you guys have already made a Reggie White though, so don't feel like you're missing out. I would pass on Singletary for now. I would pass on Okoye in the bus for now, just because I'm a fan of shiftier backs that can do a little bit more, although those are very good truck backs. And then Rodney Harrison is probably...
He's probably one of the better ones.
He's probably definitely a top 3 option. It's going to be tough to get his Twitch Prime chem active because you're going to need 4 players. It's going to take a while. That would get him to 92 zone, but you can get him to 91 zone if you can get a couple more in the lineup. If you get the read and react and you get the Patriots, you can have some coverage. You may just need read and react. I'm having trouble seeing. Yeah, just read and react active at tier 3 will get you Rodney Harrison to 91 zone, and then he should play very well. Plus, he's got big pop in his bat, 89 hit power, so you can play him in the flat. So I would think that Rodney Harrison is a good option.
Alert, alert, alert in the chat. Drifter Bub is here.
Drifter Bub.
Drifter Bub.
We got all the goons out today.
Drifter
I saw
Bub.
Mass Tech guy in there. I saw Kia. I saw Master Gamer who's playing. It's going to be pretty dope. Gibbs, real quick, before we get back to a couple tips in-game, Football Outsiders dropped today. So, led by 2 special teamers, which you don't see often, but these are easily the best kickers and punters in the game. Marquette King, 90-90.
That's
or
crazy.
90-92.
82 speed, too.
Prater, 90-90. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're serious about Madden and you need a good kicker, like, you got to invest. I know kickers are already extremely expensive. These guys will likely be pricey, but, I mean, man, they can make a difference for you. We saw 2 big kicks win tournaments. Taylor Lewan is 90-90, so we just talked about that threshold. That's the guy you go after. DeMarcus Lawrence is much improved. I think he had a team of the week last week. This one's much, much better. Keenan Allen flies at 91 route running.
Pretty good.
So you like that. Jared Goff, look, 85 throw power, 86, 84, 83 with 75 speed. Jared Goff is 2 items away from being almost 90s across the board, and that's going to be a great item. Potentially, he's already playing really well, so keep an eye out for
Good
Goff.
cap on him, too, right now. 37 is good cap.
And he's, he's right about there. Could have a little bit more throw power. Woodyard has 85 hit power at 6 feet tall with 82 speed. That's pretty solid. If his price comes down, he can end up being like a decent middle linebacker that you roam around with. I don't dislike, but I would pass on this guy for now, just because
90 pass block, bro.
Right, it's good if you pass a ton, but
That's a fantastic item.
you're a fan.
I love them. That's a must-have. That is must-have in your lineup.
All right,
Honestly.
AJ Cam for Gibs.
90 pass block, yes.
Cook, he's going to be out for the season, so this could be one of your last chances to get a Cook. 87 elusive, 90 agility. It's pretty reasonable. You have to check his spin and juke. It looks like his juke's 85.
I'll tell you, that could be a salary cap guy. Salary cap
little
guru.
shifty back. Gaines was who I thought Can was. This is who I would pass on. Just there's a bunch of other guys that are like this but taller. Sullivan gets more balance, not as good as the other lineman we talked about, and then Baker at free safety I would pass. So some good Football Outsiders values, and really a cool way to add some special teamers into the chat and into your squad.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll fly back here to the game, Gibbs. We've got your mailbag questions. This one is from BCake612. It's the next one in there. He wants to know any tricks to running gun bunch. So we just teased this one when we showed you some tips on beating cover 2, which a lot of you guys are struggling with. This is some tips and tricks from gun bunch that can help you do exactly that. Cover 2, toughest defense in the game, Gibbs. Show us how it's done.
So we're calling this the secret of the gun bunch, but it's not necessarily going to be a secret, but it's more importantly the secret of a gun bunch quads. And what that is you take a look at gun bunch halfback strong. There are 4 receiving options to the right of the quarterback. If I flip it, it's 4 to the left of the quarterback. Now you take a look at another formation that's similar. Gun bunch quads, 4 receivers to the right of the quarterback. If I flip it, 4 receivers to the left of the quarterback. Now, what makes this so effective is the following thing. Now, we're going to call this not only the secret of the gun bunch, but we're also going to call it the most consistent read against cover 2 cloud flats that you're going to be able to have in your offensive arsenal. So let's first take a look at the gun bunch trail. It could be really any play from this formation. Now, because you are facing zone defense, you have a quads alignment to the one side of the field. So the left side of the field here, I have 4 receivers all flooding one part of the field. Now what ends up happening when you do that, the defense has to make a read on that and align to what is happening from the offensive formation. Because there's so many receivers on one side of the field, they need to match accordingly. So what ends up happening is you get match man on the outside solo receiver, which ends up being your halfback.
So instead of this guy playing his zone, he says, you know what, I got to man up Freeman, and I'm going to play him one-on-one. I'm not going to play my zone. Because zone would stop the out route, because he would drop and be in that area. But instead, because he mans him up, he's got to play him man-to-man.
Correct. Give me a baseline press. Give me set up the with your linebacker deep, middle linebacker deep. So to show you it again, what we do here is we place the outside receiver Freeman on that out, and then we're going to smart route it. You could just leave him on the out. That works too, but you know, might as well get a bang for your buck. So what ends up happening is, again, you get that match man, you get a man alignment, which then is going to give you that consistent read against that cover 2 cloud flat, and that's what you want. What is the one thing competitive or Madden players want? Consistency. I want to know that this is going to happen when I do this, and that is what we're trying to show you here. Is
and what's good is if you then beat me 3 times, so I can stay in cloud flats. But if you then beat me 3 times, well then you know if I change it that I'm in a hard flat, because you're going to get the same behavior every single time that zone is out there. But when I go to a hard flat, which is a different type of zone, the behavior is going to change. It's not going to match. He's going to stay there. So when he doesn't man him up right at the snap, you know what it is. You
instantly know, like, he's not. He will play that hard flat, and you can fit that out behind it as long as you have a drag underneath. So that's the key. Now they're going to go, okay, hard flat, and take it away. Not really. Because if you play a high-low, that becomes a curl-flat concept. A flat pattern with the drag, and then a curl the out. It becomes a curl-flat concept. High-low read, right, that they need to do to take it away. So the other thing you could do off of that is this. If you run a vertical behind that and they put a hard flat on that side, so put a hard flat over by Freeman.
Did it?
Let me see it. Just gotta see that.
Yeah, you know.
If you run this type of concept right here, if you run a drag to the tight end and a vertical to Freeman, you're gonna get this canale right here. He's gonna run down that sideline, bang, possession catch, big time play. And so this is the cat and mouse you can play.
That's the thing with the hard flat. They don't want to do it every down because you get burnt for bigger chunks with hard flats. You want to play hard flats on like 3rd and 2, or when you think they finally think they've had enough. So the most times they won't want to go to hard flats. Like they'll give you this out a couple times, like, all right, man, throw it again, and then they'll eventually try and take it away on 3rd and 2. But that's where you get those chunk plays, and that's critical.
The one thing to note: when you go and play cover 3, you gotta watch out for this. Give me bring the safety that's like in that. Bring them up, and now just give me a pass commit. What you have to be careful of here is when they do change the defense. Like this is not a beat everything defense. It's specifically how to attack the cloud flats that we're seeing, right? A consistent read. So what ends up happening is if they do that, you better believe that curl flat's gonna get out there and make a play. So this is not a, oh my God, they've given us a play that's gonna beat everything. No, that's not what it is. It is not that. This is specific to cloud flats. This is specific to a cover 2, Tampa 2 style defense that is going to give you a consistent read against those defenses. Now,
so what's interesting about that is you showed it from gun bunch quads, and then people might say, well, I'm not going to use the Bills playbook, which has gun bunch quads, but there's other ways that you can make this formation. You can do it from gun halfback strong. You can also do it from other sets, and we'll show you how after we show you from gun bunch halfback strong. We'll show you some examples. I do this quite a few times when I need it. It's usually my first 3rd and long of the game. I call this little trick.
So take a look at this. You can see the formation flow is very similar to that bunch quads, right? I have that post to Gabriel. I got Hooper on a drag, and I actually put Freeman on an option. We'll get into options at another point in TWIM. I'm starting to really like the option route against these zone defenses because they turn and sit, and we'll break it down further, but this is a setup you have right here. So snap of the ball, I get that match man on the right side. He didn't get the good break on it, and that's fine. He's not always going to get a great break. But what you're going to find is you're just trying to get yourself, what's that consistent read? What's that play that's going to, I know I can always sort of count on? That what you want is you want to take your opponent out of a defense where they don't do anything. And for the most part, what we're seeing from these cover 2 defenses is you're getting competition, players that you might say, I'm better than this guy. I know I'm schematically better than this player. But they're able to call defenses, and they don't have to do anything, and they're stopping you, right? Other than put the middle linebacker in a deep zone, that's what's happening. So when you add this to what you are doing on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to force your opponent to do something. Now, the best players in the world will adjust accordingly, make plays, but the vast majority of people that you play, they're not going to make the right adjustments. They're just not. So you're going to get this read to be something that you can consistently have in your offensive arsenal. So make sure you have a good route run over. That's the key there, too. Remember?
Right. The other piece, and look, Freeman did better than Sanu.
He did.
That's very interesting. The other thing is you can make this set. So if you go through your playbook and you go, I don't have 4 dudes on one side, let's see if we can find an example of how to motion the halfback or motion a receiver over. So if you're in, you don't want that because you want the guy out wide. Keep going, keep going.
That would probably work with the tight end.
That would probably work. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
No.
You want him wide. So that set, call that set. I would call 4 verticals, or I'd call, whatever play has a deep post. And what I do, because I don't really use those sets much, you got to take Freeman off the purple. You got to put him on something else. You motion him. Now you got 4 dudes. So now it'll still work because you had 3 dudes, but now you got 4 dudes, and Julio Jones should match man, and he'll crush his guy. So you don't need that's those 2 specific sets we showed. You can do it from any set. Although when you motion the guy, they're gonna know. He's probably doing this.
So one thing to note here, I want to go back real quick into the gun bunch strong, and I want to show you an additional way to make this even better, okay? So if you come out gun bunch strong, they're going to have to, and I like to play Z-spot. If they have to, this is actually something I noticed and looked at last night. I've only played 1 game doing it, so I don't have a ton of lab time with running this. But you're in the cloud flats, give me baseline press.
Okay.
What I've noticed, they have to respect the fact that you have the out thing to the right? So that's going to be a lot of their attention because that's a headache. Every down to stop that. It's going to take a specific setup to slow it down. But by the way, soft squats don't work. You know why? Because soft squats, by design, play match man. So soft squats, throw them out. Okay, you can't do it. Now put the middle linebacker in a deep zone.
Bam.
So if I were to run this play stock, we all know how much I love these little outs with motion to Jones, right?
Yeah.
And I like this route to Hooper. The drag gives you a little option. And now I'm loving these option routes to the halfback. So this is now kind of my base setup here, right? Well, when I would run this before to Jones, I'd motion him out and snap it after 1 or 2 steps, right? And then I want to throw him that ball. So that worked. That's okay. That's a tough throw to make consistently to make a living off it, right? Well, what I'm now noticing is when I motion Jones out further to the left, he actually does a great job of keeping the cloud flat underneath to play. That doesn't allow him to get back to this corner to Gabriel. So take a look at this. So motion him out farther, snap there. Now Gabriel is going to run his route. The pressure comes in, of course, gets there before I'm able to throw. And that's fine. That's the name of the game, right? So I got to, let me just do this. Let me try and ID the mic. So over here, I could also keep Freeman in the block, but motion Jones out, snap it there. Tough D.
Screaming.
You're screaming. That's the name of it. But hold on, let me block Freeman. That's what I would do in this instance. So we'll go here. Motion Jones over. So what I'm noticing is right there, and that's where I need to have another. I would want to maybe potentially vertical the tight end. But what you're going to see, hold on, let me vertical the tight end here, is the motion out, the further motion out helps create space to throw that corner pattern, right? Right in there. It's not huge, and the safeties, maybe it's because Earl Thomas. Maybe they get back in the lab and try it out. But what I was noticing last night when I was practicing is that there's a canale there. Let me see if it was just against maybe don't baseline press. Just reset it. Let me just see. Maybe it was against Dip. Maybe that's what the difference was. Reset the play entirely. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Motion Jones out. Gabriel. Just screaming.
Screaming.
Well, I want to see what this was. Was that just he just got an instant win?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Cliff April.
It's the name of the game. It's the name of the game. You're sitting there, sack. So let me try one more time here. Let's try. And motion him out. He gets there. Now that maybe the Earl Thomas is just too good zone coverage. It might be too good there. Where last night when I was blabbing with a defense, I was using the Ravens. So I don't know if Weddle was there or not, but they weren't breaking like that. So that's something to go back to the drawing board. But what I want to draw your attention to is...
And another reason cover 2 is so good because you can't throw the corner because the cloud flat could back up and pick it. But now when you finally occupy the cloud flat, the zone guy is so good, he can go over there and get it. That's why cover 2 is so good if you didn't already know.
Let me try it on the other side. I'm just curious.
Because it's just Cam.
Cam won't have the
Sherman will be.
Get off that hook.
Pretty spicy.
Yeah. Sherman.
Live lab going on.
Sherman should be okay. He came over and picked it. I think I went down when I passed it. I'm telling you, when I used it against the Ravens, it was opening passing lanes. The motion was keeping the cloud flat. What I'm not being able to fit in against the safety, but what I like about this is that the cloud flat's not dropping back to play it. Like, see how he's up?
He bit down, yeah.
So because he's staying there, he's not able to get back. Like, the safety's making the play on the ball, which is fine. Actually, do this too. Let's. I think this might have something to do with it.
Wide side.
I think this has something to do with it.
Okay.
Okay. Because you know why? Because I think the safeties are going to drift further. Let's. You could even baseline press here. I'm going to tell you this is going to work.
Gibs, the chat is so skeptical.
This is going to work. This is going to work. I'm telling you. But then the flat was over there. The cloud flat was over there. You got this on All Pro? What do you got this on? You got it on Madden? What do you got it on?
I mean, you know what I do.
What do you do? Pro?
Anything to mess up your tips. No, it's all pro.
No, let's see.
I mean, my setups are...
You got tough setups?
Screen. Pretty open.
Looking out.
He dropped it.
He dropped it, but he's not breaking like I thought. Okay, so that's fine. There's something to monitor. I'm telling you, it's something to monitor. Keep that hook zone under that.
Street Cooper?
You could potentially street Cooper, yeah.
Why don't you want to do that? Because you want the drag.
Because you lose the drag.
And that's what you're going to throw when this never gets open.
Well, that's what we're trying to find, Zfarls.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you.
That's a tough throw. You're not gonna make that throw.
No.
This was getting way more open last night. Maybe who is on the Bills? Who's the Bills receiver in that spot? They were getting open.
Nobody good. They don't have a good receiver at any spot. So that's how you know. Zay Jones.
Let me go here. Let me motion there and see. Nope. Safety man. Okay.
Are you sure it wasn't a corner route? Are you sure it wasn't nothing?
Yeah, I'm positive, Zfarls. I wouldn't have brought it up if I didn't think it was going to work.
True that.
That's what we do.
You know, we got a lab live. We got a lab.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the play.
So why?
I think it's a combination of Sherman. I don't know if Lane. I don't know what's going on that side, but this is what I was seeing right here. So watch. See how he stays completely down, like
because there's a flat. Because you motion him further in the flat.
He's completely down, and then the corner. See how that's the throw. See how open it is. Like there's no threat of anyone to make a play on him.
All right. If you guys need
one more time.
1-100 corner route,
no,
I've got you.
No, we're gonna get it again.
Shout outs to Young Drini in the chat.
Young Drini?
Yeah.
Boom. What's up? Let's do it one more time. Sanu? Come on, corner. Come on, corner. Now that time he dropped over. So now back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board.
Don't call that play.
Call it a play.
Don't call that play.
It works.
But you know what you can do with the cover 2 when you face that. We showed you those tips to get some match man, get a wide open out route, and at least force a game of cat and mouse with your opponent. Gibbs, Big Slow 17 wants to know tips for stopping Michael Vick in Madden. Right now he's out there. Even if people don't have the 93 version, they're using the Steelers version with 85 speed, or they got the 88 overall who's got 90 speed. Now he can't really throw. He's left-handed, and consistently his short accuracy will eventually become a problem. He can't really high point, but he can crush you. He can crush you if you're not prepared. So why don't you come out in like an under center? Maybe we switch sides so that we have Russell Wilson and we can kind of demo some ways to potentially stop this stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of tools at your disposal now in the game to slow down mobile quarterbacks. Like it should never truly be like if you're like I need to not let Vick scramble on this play, you should never not be able to do it.
Right.
That's the consensus.
Okay, here's some tips for stopping that new Michael Vick out there, whether it is the 93 legend or not. He can still always be a headache. Mobile quarterbacks. I have the, tight slots for my play so that I can scramble. Got Russell Wilson demoing it. but there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. He's left-handed. Michael Vick is left-handed, so no matter what happens, you need to blitz him from the left. That's why Tampa 2, the blitz we've been showing you earlier in the show, is very effective because it comes from the left side, forces him to roll to the right, and when Michael Vick is rolling to the right, he's got to, you know, turn his whole body square up. He already doesn't have the best accuracy, so the more and more you do that, the tougher it gets. Gibs, defensively, you have those contain rushers. Tell us the buttons, how you get those contain-style rushes on the play. Obviously, they're built into some plays, but you can make them happen on any play.
Sure, so all you have to do is hit left trigger, L2 on PS4, and then hit the right bumper. That will make your outside-most pass rushers, it could be slot defenders, makes them go into contains. You know you have contains when you have that arch that you see on read here move upfield. So take a look at the difference. That versus that. Now what that means is it's called a mush rush, right? So they are going to pass rush. What their goal is to stay in position where if you break outside the pocket, they can release off the line.
Right.
So they don't ever truly want to get like grabbed and like held by the offensive lineman, right? So
don't touch me.
Mush rush. That's what they're doing. So you can see kind of how they do it. They're standing on the outside hip.
He's never gonna like break off this block, but he's just saying at any point if the outside is breached, I am going to get off my block. Look how easily he gets off the block.
Right.
Because he knows that he can't let the quarterback outside of the pocket. So, what are some bad things about that potentially? Number one, your pass rush is going to be much worse if they don't roll out, if they just stay in the pocket. But if you keep Vick in the pocket, then you're winning because that's, you know, what you want to do. The bad thing is they can also still get double teamed. If those guys get double teamed, you can then roll out of the pocket. So I would be rolling lefty with Vick. You saw that he was able to get double teamed. The mush rush was unable to get off the block. And that's what good players will do. They'll set up front. So this guy's one-on-one because of where he's aligned, and he'll always get off the block there. But when I block a tight end on that side, he's double teamed. He's not going to be able to freely release from that double team. So I, at the snap of every ball with Vick, I look and say, does anybody have a double team? Another thing about stopping Vick is playmaker. So outside of the pocket, once I get out there, I can take the right stick and I can flick it up and then Rawls, boom. Obviously, if he's less near the sideline, he'll run right upfield or he'll run to the right. So I get out of the pocket, you've only got a flat zone over there, and now it's trouble for you to decide who to go after. So do you have any tips, Gibs, for who you would go after in that scenario?
Was it user defender or?
Like what do you think is the move? When a guy's playmaker, do you say, well, I'm going to let him scramble, or I'm going to go after the playmaker guy? I'm going to go after the playmaker guy, or I'm going to just attack Vick and hope that he messes up the playmaker.
There's a deeper strategy, I think, to slowing down a mobile quarterback, and it comes the following way, right? So if I know that this, for example, this is Russell Wilson. I know we're talking about Vick,
right?
But I know that you're Russell Wilson. Don't snap the ball. He's a righty quarterback. I want to make him go left. So what I'm going to do is, in theory, I'm going to do everything in my power to prevent a scramble to the right side. So I'm going to go quarterback contain, but then I want you to scramble to the left. So we're going to set you up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a weak side spy so that you have all that space.
How do you set up? How do you put that QB spy out there?
You can click onto him and hit the individual assignment, which is A, and then on the right stick go left and put him on a spy, or you can go LB, which is a quick adjustment. His icon, which is X, and then left. That will be your spy as well. So what ends up happening is, we call this the passive rush. We've done this for years, right? We did this where release the hounds comes from, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to get pressure that's going to naturally force the quarterback to roll the opposite way. So snap of the ball, you're just going to feel it. You're going to feel that that side's open. And then I send the hounds. I mean, that's virtually how I would set it up. Like, if you're facing someone that's going to scramble, this is how you defend them. Right? Don't get into a cat and mouse game of, I'm going to rush 4 dudes.
Contain, because then they get to double team and it's bad.
Correct, and then they can scramble out. The better approach is to set them up, give them false hope that, they're going to scramble out to the pocket. They step and they break, send the hounds, go to their first option. Right? That's the way you want to do it.
Okay.
And if it's Vick, you just invert that setup, right? So it'd look like this, right? It'd be this. Look like that.
Boom. So you do that against Vick because you want him to roll to the right because he's left-handed.
You send the hounds by pushing the right stick in. Great question, Spay 84.
So you click down the right stick and then the spy.
So watch.
At the snap of the ball, what I do at So I look for the double team rush on the contain if I think I'm going to get one, if I know I want to scramble.
Yeah.
And I also look to see who drops off the line right away.
Yeah.
Are they dropping a spy?
Watch. He's going to go. Scramble. Spy. Send. I push the right stick in. Every time I push the right stick in, it sends a new defender. Keep in mind. I pushed it 3 times there. More defenders came.
Very important. Very important. So those are some tips to stop the Vick. Number 1, make him throw short passes consistently because he will overthrow some of those. Make him high point. He will overthrow those. Make him roll to the right. Contain him. Spy him. Blitz him from that side as well.
I was going to say, the other thing you could do.
And then if he playmakers, look to follow the playmaker.
Vick is going to bring out more under center schemes. Just keep that in mind because his ability to scramble is a little easier under center. So if you ever get into an under center situation, you want to try and screen them. You want to just try and gas them up the best you can. I like the 4-4. I like this style blitz here right here. If you block a lot of people, you can pick it up. That's fine. But then you run out of resources. That's the name of the game here. And then just kind of go down, gas them up, make a great play right there. Get it,
all right, those are some things you can do for Vick. Look, the other thing is know what Vick you're playing. So if they come out in a game and you don't see Vick on the team loading screen, they probably don't have the 93. They probably have a lower version, which the lower versions really, really cannot throw. So look, they're going to try and scramble. Use those tools. You really can slow down.
You think you put your tackle to aggressive by any chance? And he's got the best Vick's got 77 carry.
So yeah, you got it. You got to hit them. I mean, they should be sliding. They should be covering up. They can't take a hit, but if they do, they'll fumble. Like they will fumble. But know that some people are just out there trying to have a real good time, and they will try and juke you too. But it's great. It's a blast.
I know. You love mobile quarterbacks. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I love them too. It's just a gasser bliss right there.
It is. Forgot to carry them. Okay, next question in the mailbag. Ron Effect. Yo, shout outs to Ron Effect. Not only is he in the chat, but he dropped like 3 questions in the mailbag tonight.
How great is Ron? Remember we met him at Duracell?
Yeah.
He's literally one of the nicest, most upbeat people I've ever met in the Madden community. Just want to give a shout out to the guy who's been streaming for a long time. The Superman cape always wears?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
In bad news for Ron Effect.
What?
We're going to have a quick moment of silence for his New York Giants, who are 0-4.
Your New York Giants?
Not my squad.
So you're going back. You're going back on the Giants. Your team. We're taking applications. You want to be a Pats fan? No, they don't do. They stink, man. They're not good. That's what you're gonna say. I beat you to your punchline. I beat you to your punchline. I did. I beat you to your punchline. So now what? You're silent. First time ever this guy hasn't said something. Silent. It's fantastic. What do you got? Give me your hot take.
You need these batteries?
Come on, man. You know we need batteries. What? We got a hot take? Look, you got no hot takes. So you got to resort to trying to make fun of me. What?
It's narrative.
Silence.
Sorry, Ron.
Silence.
Sorry, Ron.
Speechless. We did it.
How risky is manning up safeties in this game? So earlier in the season, Gibbs, we gave the tip: nickel 3-3-5, cover 4.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about when people run offenses like crossers, with that you could man up. So say we show PA slide. Like we talked a little bit about manning up Neil. You man up the free safety against Lockett, against Graham, and you still like this style of defense with cover 4, or have you gone away from it, or what's the risk? How risky is it?
You don't need it, man. Like you don't with the way how good zone coverage is. Like those deep zones by the safeties are more valuable than manning them up. And let me just show you this, right? Don't snap it. This defense right here, if I go cover 4, cover double down, cover double up, that for the most part is going to stop anything downfield. Like you might be able to sneak in underneath. You're gonna be able to sneak in drags and whatnot, but like you're not gonna have passing lanes downfield. Like it's just locked down
because the cloud flat will play that crossing route. Yeah. And before we thought, well, those crossing routes are tough. They get open, so you can man up a safety and it'll kind of track it across the field. And as long as they're not on a deep streak, then you're going to have good luck. The bad thing is with these deep streaks, and what is risky, Ron is right, is so say you man up and you think you're getting a crosser. So man up Allen against Lockett, just to say. You could get in trouble because they could streak that route, and they may not be able to recover.
Correct.
And that is where you don't want anything bad to happen. I mean, they still play it pretty good.
That's a good throw, though.
That
was a great throw. That was like a
really good throw.
That was like Russell Wilson's throw this past week on Sunday night.
Well, bam. So you don't really need to do the cross-man thing. It's still a pretty good defense, and it can still help you
kind of good
fool them and man different guys up and kind of take a certain guy away from each throw. But it's not crazy risky.
It's really not.
But it's just not needed. You just don't need to really.
You don't need it as much as you did last year.
So don't use RB, and let me just see if I can find a way to get him open. Like Julio will outrun that coverage potentially. Yeah, like. Yeah.
You're better off
cloud flat.
But a deep zone has a better chance of playing that. Like that's the thing. Like if you had deep zones here like this, like I'm telling you, that deep zone has a better chance of playing that. Like he'll break on that ball. Number one, you better get a good throw. Number two, like if you're late, like the deep zone's gonna be over there. Like don't mess with the deep zones. The deep zones are the best zones in the game. They are the best zone in the game. I know that sounds weird, but they're very good at stopping everything.
All right, so don't have to
break
cross,
like
man.
Crazy, man.
Those bros. Okay, let's keep going through the mailbag. Shouts out to Ron Effect. Underdog wants to know, Gibbs, anything in the Minnesota offense that you like? I know Mole, who's one of the biggest cheesers in the entire Madden community.
Wow.
And an above-average player.
I'm going to tell him you said that tomorrow. I'm going to see him and I'll tell him.
I mean, he might watch TWIM. He likes the Wildcat from the Minnesota offense.
Yeah.
So I say, Mick, Mole, are you using Vick? He said, yes, I like to run the Wildcat with him. I put him in. It's pretty tough. So Wildcat in Minnesota is worth checking out. Could be decent. Empty Bunch is now wide. It's not regular.
It's the Cardinals empty bunch wide.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty good. That's not bad. That's a good bunch.
I know, but it's
I'll
not
get
what
to
it
see
used
someone
to be.
build a scheme out of it.
It's not what it used to be, though.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you like in this Minnesota? Let's check. Pistol.
Gun spread. I don't run it myself, but I can envision something working pretty good. Give me... Keep going.
Oh, because they have that fork wheel?
You keep going. I think they do.
They had it last year.
Right there. Yep. Fork wheel.
Fork wheel.
Best play that only I know T-Raw ran it last year. Fork wheel. Fantastic play. In theory, it's like the best play in the game. It's got everything you'd ever want.
It's got a backbreaker post for Doug Baldwin. It's got the wheel, the locket. It's got very good halfback route. It's got a deep post to Richardson and two types of posts.
So
and then it's got a corner to Graham.
You drag locket. That would be like in theory your base setup here. Because you have now double mesh.
Double mesh across the middle, nice and short.
Yeah.
You got a couple deep post routes. Maybe you hit B, see if you can get it in between the safeties.
The problem is see how good the safeties are.
Yeah.
They break.
Yeah. You get the backbreaker there. You've got short routes. You could always scramble with Russell, but just drags underneath. If they're going to give that to you, you would take it all day. So don't forget to check into that fork wheel.
It's got some other nice plays like Vikings double post too.
Tony wants to know, Gibbs, what's the best gun bunch formation? Is it Seattle or?
Seattle's good. Miami's good. Green Bay is good. Jets is good. There's a lot of good bunches. I might give it to the nod to Seattle.
Also, with this Vikings, they've got near, which people ran.
Yeah, the near jumbo's good.
A little bit, so it's got
that
fullback dive.
That circle route's hell. Tight end corner.
Halfback inside, you get tight end corner, so you could check that out as a mini scheme.
So tough.
And then they don't have much in single back. They don't have deuce close or tight.
Just go to that near formation real quick. I actually wanted to break this down on TWIM. Go to tight end corner. This is old school quick pass territory. I know when you hear me say quick pass, I know you don't like that because they don't work like they once did. But street Graham.
But you're good at that.
Take a look at this. Snap. Drifts. Throw it over. It's good.
It's the easiest way to get 2 yards. You didn't get that one, but it's good, man. I tell you, I used this the other night when I was, changing my playbook. So,
good read. Good throw.
Well, you don't throw it that quick. I know I said quick. I know I said throw it real quick, but you don't throw it so quick, Charles. You don't listen. You don't know the buttons. You don't know how to throw it quick. You don't know how to throw it too quick. You got to throw it quicker. Well, less quick than that. Oh, yeah. See, it's unfortunate. I took a hit stick and I fumbled, but it's not on me. It's the game. It's the game, man. It's not me.
Do I sound like that?
It's not me. It's the game.
One
in the chat if Gibbs sounds like that.
Do I talk like this? Like, do I talk like I'm from Jersey? Do I talk like I'm eating a hoagie tonight?
Well,
I'm going to go out and get a hero tonight.
That's what I talk about.
Like I'm from New York City. Hey, I come from the Big Apple. I'll go down to West and 49th Street. I'll tell you what, I live in SoCo. I live with the
SoCo.
Bibbidi-bobbidi, 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 boom.
Hey. hey, that time the defender was in a soft squat, you dummy. You know, if he's in a soft squat, you know that you can only throw that for 2.5 yards. But if he's in a bird hug, you can throw him for 4 yards.
I talk like this. I put my hands down and talk like this.
And what I really like about it, Falls, is
on the... 2-3 times. They're going to do 2-3 times and they'll throw that route. 2 or 3 times and we'll throw it.
Left side, it's a bench concept. You don't see that a lot, and you can't make the bench concept, but a lot of plays... They don't even have them as quick audibles. And what I like about this one is it's in there, it's in the meta, and it's the tight end corner, and you can go to it on 3rd and 1. So you don't have to come out in it because it's in there, and then you grab the fullback dive right here, you bang, boom, right up to there. You get 3 yards.
Right the canal. Little canal over here. You go over here, you do this, you go that. You gotta flip it. All you gotta do is put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
So yeah, halfback inside, tight end corner, some other stuff. You go with that. Alright, next question. Mailbag. Vikings, you know.
I'm actually just broke out into a sweat.
I'm
starting to sweat.
Really once we get to the game of the week. This is why this is called the heat round, where we go fast.
Hey, just so you know, Ron said Falls sound like an over-caffeinated foreign exchange student. You actually drank a thing of cold brew.
I'm heavily caffeinated.
Dude, who drinks a thing of cold brew out of a Sam Adams Boston lager glass moments before TWIM? 8 o'clock at night, bro.
Yeah, you got to get fired up for the chat.
I
respect the chat. I respect the man of people. I am the man of the people. I drink a little coffee before the show. They keep me heavily caffeinated. You got to get fired up. All right, next mailbag question. Gibbs, we're flying through these last 3 here. Okay, Fat Boy Fierce wants to know, what is good defense when a play breaks down? So he seems like he's like rushing 3, and they're not getting in, and then he's giving up yards. So the receivers, they go into... like get open, so don't rush anybody. And we talked a little bit about this last time, but here's how you know, right? So yeah, just give me some spies. Like there's a behavior that receivers do when a play breaks down. In B, he's going to bounce off the sideline. A, he's eventually going to bounce off the sideline, and that is when you hit them with a certain throw. So if you're playing defense against that, once you give me that one more time. So first of all, if they get outside the pocket, that's dangerous. You can always click down on the right stick to send a spy. So I'm going to wait till A starts going, boom, I can throw it to A. Boom, I can throw it to B. Why I can wait and throw it when he goes there, of course. It did not work. But what you want to do when you see these routes break is you always want to be the user in the middle of the field. You want to be user in the middle. And when these routes start to go and you see this behavior, so once he puts his hands up, he'll wait. He'll break. So Graham, boom. Once he goes, you know where he's going. He stays on this line. He doesn't like randomly make another path. 10, you know where he's going. He's going towards the middle. So you have to do your best to user that middle, possibly send a spy with the right stick, or send whoever, you know, is, if they're rolling out of the pocket and there's a flat zone over there, you send that. That's what you got to do. But it's the same behavior when the receiver goes in to get open. And when the play breaks down, that's where you have to be. Stuff. All right, next question in the mailbag, because remember, we're flying through these. Best offensive adjustments versus zone. What are some key hot routes? So this is kind of a 2-part question, Gibbs. When you face certain coverages, what are your best adjustments? And then what are just key hot routes that you like to use on certain plays? So let's go into a formation like gun bunch. And we'll call the play bunch trail. Vikings playbook in gun bunch has bunch trail. Great. Use that in Minnesota. Yeah. Okay, so you're in cover 2. What do you like to do against cover 2? Do you like to put flats? You know, here are your hot routes: ins, outs, drags, slants. Do you like to block a halfback? Like what do you do against cover 2?
One thing you could do here is a quick audible to the right. So you want to create like a clear out situation. So what you would do in this case is you would just simply drag Richardson. So it's any type of vertical on one side of the field, when on the opposite side of the field you run a underneath route behind it. And so this is just a clear out technique.
So a drag is very good against cover 2 because other routes clear out of the way, people back off, and then you can hit it underneath and at least pick up some yards. At least have a late breaking route. So drags against cover 2. Against cover 3, you like to go for the sail concept. So give me cover 3 here. and we'll show you some ideas of how you can beat that. So possibly we don't have the right route combination on this. We'll go back to bunch trail. You want to add a streak. So you'd want to streak Baldwin, flat Graham, and against cover 3, this could be something that gets open for you. You might want a deeper corner, but if you do think it is cover 3, then you want to attack that deep corner. Now the corner you're unable to make, so you need to have a play that has a corner, but then you can always add a streak, always add a flat, and that will help you. Against cover 4, what do you like to make for some adjustments? Do you like to run the ball?
Cover 4, you typically want to go to the flat. That's where things like the out to Rawls and Baldwin, like even against these cloud flats, you could throw this out to Rawls here. So we'll get to another secondary technique here, but that out to Rawls against those cloud flats, it's pretty effective. Yeah. Because the zone will drift from it, so you can dump the ball to him. Now the other thing that I want to talk about here is we call this. I guess you could call it the canale, right? So you put Rawls on the out. Now drag Jimmy Graham. Or you could drag Baldwin in this case, rather. Drag Baldwin. So this works specifically from a bunch set where you have the receiver on one side tight and then the halfback opposite side. So the route to Rawls is going to pull the zone to that side, and then there's going to be a little alleyway to throw the drag that helps you open up this receiver to the drag. So snap the ball. So what ends up happening is, if you go there, there's this alley right there. I'm gonna not use her so you can see it this time. So let me go back here. Let me say if I was in a cover 3, right? If I was cover 3 hard flats, let me bring the safety up too. And let me just blitz.
Right before the numbers. You want to hit it to him and then go right upfield.
So let me see. So drag. You got a drag to Baldwin. Yeah, there you go. So what ends up happening here is the out gets eaten up by him, and then there's that alleyway to the halfback there. So I use that quite a bit. Even against if you're in that works too if you're in hard flats at a cover 2. Like if you're in hard flats at a cover 2, the same thing applies. Like the drag the out will take the drag, take the flat zone, and then the drag gets behind it, and you can throw it and try and cut up the canale right up the middle of the field.
Nice.
But I would say any standard hot route, a vertical with a drag underneath is usually a really good starting point because the vertical helps pull zones downfield.
Right.
And then the drag helps open things up. So the same thing could be said for if you were go to the play action audible, and now put Baldwin on a fade. What happens here is Baldwin now motion him out left. This is going to create a little alley for Jimmy Graham. It's a brief window, but the vertical pulls it downfield. Now it's late because of the play action.
Right.
But the vertical will help pull zones downfield a little bit and just open up passing lanes underneath. So any type of vertical stem with an underneath drag, in, out, things like that, that's usually a good starting point as a base hot route to make.
Gibbs, we got a special guest in the chat. Skimbo23, the king of the bunch. He says your bunch is embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. It's nowhere near as good as his.
The bunch is solid. He's the best bunch player in America, and he's already in the Madden Classic, which is awesome. He won the first Challenger event of the year. He's got the Madden Classic. He's going to find out his next 4 opponents coming up this weekend. Starts tomorrow on Xbox One and PS4. His guy Dubby is in Xbox.
3 seed, right?
3 seed against Franchise GG.
Tough game there.
We got Young Dreeny who was in here, I believe.
I'd be curious to know who Skimbo thinks is coming out, going to make it out alive out of this.
Very interesting.
Skimbo, in the chat, let us know. Who do you think is making it out of single limbs here?
And then you got PS4. 2 from PS4 will make it. Killer Mike, Scheeman, Joe Rice. Shugs is on here. This is pretty good. That Xbox is Ferocious Carry Q on there. Shouts out to Skimbo for stopping by this week in Madden. All right, last mailbag question before Gibbs gets massacred in the game of the week.
I'm playing the game of the week?
I mean, I'll play the game of the week. I know you quit on me last week.
I did quit on you.
You really want to play? Boo-hoo-hoo, why don't you ever let me play that whole tear-filled rant once we ended the show last week? I don't know if we want to go over that again.
It's not true.
All right. Best red zone plays from the 20 to the 5. So, James, that's a good point. We talk about that quite a bit. Once I have a play in the red zone, like a certain route or a certain high point throw, I definitely like to call that play and that play only once I get inside the 5, once I get inside the 3 if I'm not going to run the ball. So that means that my entire goal, once I have a play that works inside the 5, is to get to the 5-yard line. So I like your question because it's a mentality thing. It's like, how do I get to the 5? How do I get to the 5? It's not how do I get in the end zone from the 20. It's how do I get to the 5 from the 20. If I'm at the 8, it's how do I get to the 5. If I'm at the 13, it's how do I get to the 5. If I'm inside the 10 to the 5, I run the ball. I scramble the quarterback, or I just run a quick run and see if I can get to the 5. If I'm at the 20, it's tough. If I'm outside the 20, if I'm at the 22 or greater, I can run the backbreaker to Richardson. You can run a Z-spot post and potentially throw it in from there. But little tricks. I don't really go too crazy with my offense. I would hit the flat. I mean, you still have to get like a first down, so it's a challenge. Do you have any plays you like to go to from the 25? But I like this mindset here that he has.
I think halfback draws are very effective this year. I think if you remember dating back to Madden Classic last year, one thing that you saw was a lot of people ran draws. I think that you'll see a lot of draws when it comes to what we see in the Madden Classic this year when we get there, right? A lot of coverage is sort of the meta. Not everyone's blitzing a ton. Some players are. I know Skimbo and his defense is very aggressive in the way he plays, so that's not his mentality. But halfback draws work really well here. Pistol bunch, a very interesting formation. I actually had a lot of success recently with pistol bunch verticals. And all you do is drag the tight end. The tight end is your first read. You then have the poke, like that route to like lock it that breaks over the middle, and then you have another stem like vertical in the seam there. It'd be like Graham on like a vertical fade like in the seam. It sort of looks like that, and then you have Rawls on a delay route that runs a dragon, and then you backside drag to Richardson. So the dragon goes to the left. So it sort of looks like that, and it's really difficult to defend.
Do you motion this guy out or no?
No. So I primarily want to throw to Richardson or Rawls, but what ends up happening is Richardson usually takes away the flat defender, and then you have that canali to the halfback that you throw, and then the B route becomes your blocker for you. In this case, it's kind of
backwards because it's
kind
not
of flip. But I found that works really well in the red zone. Draws work well, and then these deep crossers. Let's see if we can find one in this playbook here. Let's go to the wide receiver wing.
The old wide receiver wing package?
This is for when you get closer to the wing pair. Nope, not wing pair, sorry.
Mid-Vikings too, so.
Wing. Oh, there you go. Nope, go to, it was your first play. Yeah, PA wheel drag. This is a play I've had a lot of success with in the red zone scoring-wise. Doesn't matter really what the defenses we're facing, but take a look at the play art here. You want to throw the ball to Baldwin. You want to be probably near the 10, and then try and score from there. But I think, those are a couple trinket plays you can add. But that gets to a nice tender spot with a high point pass, kind of the back of the end zone that you can make a play with it. So better for closer to the...
A little bit closer.
Yeah.
All right. And then last question in the mailbag. This one's from Mike Butler. We want to go over this one quickly. He says, explain the 3-4 defense, what over, under, even means, and then we'll talk about the strengths of each position in 3-4 defense, like what guys you need and where. So here we're in the menu. We're looking at 3-4 on This Week in Madden. So Gibbs, what is, the 3-4 primarily? Why is it good? You would say right now, this guy, Mike Butler, he's new. 3-4 is better than 4-3. Because it has the 3-4 odd, and if you're a new player, instead of rushing 4, you can just rush 3. You're still going to get some pressure. You got this play, cover 4, drop show 2. It's a new player's best friend. You should be calling this play all the stinking time at a 3-4 odd, cover 4, drop show 2. Mike Butler, get that tip out of the way first. Call this play 80% of the time. Good run defense, all that stuff. Now, 3-4 odd, 3-4 even. Let's go through that a little bit. Why you would use different formations, or you just stick with one?
I think 3-4 odd right now is your best look. The cover 4, drop show 2, one of the better defenses in the game. But really, it comes down to alignment. So this is a 3-4 odd. You get a very standard look. You have one D tackle directly over the center, and then you have essentially you could look at this and say it's a 5-2, right? Because you have 5 defenders near the line of scrimmage, playing near offensive linemen and tight ends, right? So it's somewhat of a 5-2 alignment, right? You get 5 defenders on the defensive line. So the difference that you get when you go into these other sets is just the alignment that you get near the line of scrimmage. So let me go to 3-4 Predator. So this is the 3-4 under, if you will. It's named Predator in some formations. But what you get is you just get a different alignment. You can see you actually have, in the Predator, you have your outside linebacker. He's got his hand in the dirt, and he's down as a pass rusher. So really what you find out of this set is that most plays from this formation have that defender blitzing by default. So it's more of a 4-3 style alignment. And take a look at this right here. You're looking to get one-on-one pass rushes off this edge, and that's what the 3-4 Predator here will give you. So as you look at the screen, you notice you want your best pass rusher to be here. Mm-hmm. What ends up happening is you get a one-on-one pass rush with him because the alignment of this formation is going to say center and the right guard, you need to double team down on the defensive tackle here. So take a look at the screen here, and you'll be able to see you get the one-on-one with your best pass rusher, and that's what you're looking for.
All right, Gibbs.
Yeah.
That's some solid 3-4. We're flying in a tip from the chat. This is why you go to the chat. Ready?
Okay.
3-4 odd. Flipped.
Sure.
Cover 4 Mike.
Sure.
So let's find that. We're flying you in a blitz from the 3-4 on the stream from more pitch in the chat. 3-4 odd.
More pitch? That's
Jacoby, right?
Is that Jacoby?
Could be.
Could be.
3-4 odd. Flipped. Cover 4 Mike.
Yep.
Base align. So we'll call it here. We'll get a little gun spread.
Mm-hmm.
So we can test this one out. Give me something a little more spread out. We'll get this.
No, don't go to that. Go to that gun spread. Right there.
There we go. Okay. Base align, which is why I read in the D-pad. I'll teach you the buttons because I don't know if you know them. Spread linebackers, pinch line, crash D-line right.
Yeah.
Quarterback contain.
This is the tackle lock stuff, right?
Let's see if it's spicy.
Crash line right?
Yeah.
I might have done it wrong.
Okay, we'll go one more time.
Got it.
Base align. Spread linebackers, pinch line, crash D line right, quarterback contain.
Okay.
Okay. And then he should loop.
No, I think he shoots through the gap.
Got it.
Got it.
Okay.
That's a blitz you're going to see a lot from people in the Madden Classic coming in. So I would keep an eye out for that.
You want the MLB on a contain, you want to crash down.
You want the MLB?
On a contain and then crash down.
Got it. You got to, I got to slide him out more. Right. That makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. You got it.
There you go.
That's what you're going to see in the Madden Classic. You're going to see people look to defend against that all tournament long. Skimbo, all the other guys, Shift God Cole, they're going to show you how to stop those things. They're going to have to get schemes in the lab to slow those things down because that's right now one of the hot blitzes that people are running, trying to get that guy free through that inside area. So get ready for that as we head into the Madden Classic coming up in a couple weeks.
Boom. 3-4, solid. Like we said, Gibbs showed you those different alignments, but stick to the 3-4 odd, more consistent, just kind of getting things across. Bear obviously jams everybody up in the middle. That's the way to go. As far as actual players you want in a 3-4, you want two big beef ends, high strength, high block shed. Same thing, D tackle. Those three guys on the line of scrimmage, that's what you want. Corners, if they're just going to be playing cover 2, you don't mind if you have slower guys that are bigger hitters. The same thing, you don't need a ton of speed in the middle if you're just not playing man, you're not using athletic guys, but you do want two outside linebackers that could potentially rush the passer if you're playing a standard one, or whoever's blitzing on the play, you want them a little bit more speed, a little bit more rush moves, excel, so that they can try and get to the guy passer faster. Zones in the middle, high zone coverage, high play rec, depending on who you're going to use her. If you're going to use her the seam, then you want a taller guy, and high zone coverage at your safety position. So 3-4 odd is in like 16% of the books in the game, so that is worth going in.
16 of the playbooks, not 16%.
Bam. To counter that blitz we showed you, if you're able to block the running back on the left and pinch your line down, you'll pick up those blitzes quite a bit. So don't be afraid to make those adjustments. It's a cat and mouse, it's a meta, and make sure you check out that. All right, it is time for the game of the week. We're going to lock in Gibbs and take on some opponents. So let's go over to
I don't have to play with your team, right? I'm not playing with your team.
Are you going to play with my team, or are you going to log into my Xbox?
I'm gonna log into your Xbox.
I know you already secretly locked into my Xbox when I wasn't here, and I don't like that
the
very much.
problem is you were here.
So here's the thing. I'm now once a day just going to randomly log into your account because I can.
Well, let me just change.
Are you going to log into your account?
Yeah.
You're stand-up guy, Gibs.
What's wrong with that?
Guys, make sure that you stay tuned this weekend for games in the Madden Classic. So it's single elimination on Thursday. It is group stage on Friday. 8 groups of 4. Top 3 in each advance. That's 12 on each side. 12 on PS4, 12 on Xbox. Then they're going to get down to the final 2 on each console. 2 on Xbox, 2 on PS4 on Saturday. Streams will be live. If people are streaming their games, let us know when. Here's the matches that start off tomorrow on Xbox, and it's worth checking out. Gibbs, are you going to change up your team, your playbook, your scheme? What playbook are you going to run?
I'm going to go Bills. Stick to the Ravens, D. I got the 25 losses before I got the 100 wins. So
I want to play against B-Hard 7?
Sure.
Are we sure he's good?
I don't know. Should I just play? We're gonna
trust that he's good.
We're gonna get a good game. I'm an all-Madden first string. We're gonna get a good game. We could match up against. If you're an all-Madden first string, you go and play and match right now. We could good chance to match up.
All right. I mean, I want to see you play B-Hard 7, but I don't know if he's good. He has not done. He's not.
Do we just go directly into a game?
I mean, you've lost your last 2.
I'm not happy
you're
about
good.
It. Huh?
Are we sure you're good?
Does the chat think my record's good? I don't know. It's a pretty good record.
They don't. All they can see is streak -2.
That's
all they're able to
25.
see.
I'm 88 and 25. That's
all
pretty
they're
darn
able
good.
to see.
If you double that, that's
you score less points a game than Autistic Meerkat at number 7. Less points a game.
I'd be 180 and 50.
Just start a game.
Play Skimbo? No, don't make me do that.
Be hard. We'll set it up.
Don't make me play Skimbo. We get another problem bashing. I'd lose by. I'm telling you, we're gonna match up against someone good. We're gonna.
Can I play your special teams?
No.
Because I have amazing special teams.
Can I sit closer to the television?
No.
Why?
That's not how it works.
Why is it?
Then you're not gonna be in the shot. Then it's gonna look weird. Then I have to sit here by myself. It looks weird. You gotta go here.
Can I sit here, guys?
No.
It's better this way.
No. It's better for you, but it's not better for everybody else. So you gotta come back. I'll let you sit in that chair.
Okay.
Back here.
That chair is very important. Can I move the TV closer?
Just watch the cords in the back. Game of the week. Game of the week.
I thought we were getting dual games of the week, man.
We can.
When are we gonna get that?
When you bring your Xbox over.
I'm playing on my account. We're playing Iced Messiah.
You're gonna smash this.
Can we move this up closer?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Are you blind?
No. Why? Who doesn't like to be sit closer?
This guy has Sean Taylor, or you have Sean Taylor?
I don't have Sean Taylor.
This guy has Sean Taylor. Let me get your special teams.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, let me get return.
No.
Press SX. Press SX. Press SX. You're so bad at this game, bro. You have unspecial special teams. And then you bring the kick out when you don't even do it. I hope you get hit stuck and then you blame it on the game. I mean, that's so bad.
That was a sexy
You barely
return.
got out to the 25.
That was a
You missed
sexy
yourself
return.
too big hit. This guy doesn't know special teams.
That was a sexy
This guy
return.
does not know special teams.
That was a sexy return.
This guy's a mutt master, bro.
Who?
This guy. Ice Messiah. He's about to dominate you.
Probably will, man.
Alright, this is the what playbook?
The Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills offensive playbook. SGibs pitches it out to the right, takes a big time hit, big time hit, loses 2 yards on the play, and now he's gonna go hurry up. He's gonna go out to the gun bunch formation. He's gonna put LaDainian Tomlinson on an out route, a tip we showed on TWIM, which means it's guaranteed not to work in the game of the week. Throws a little bit early. What happens to possession catch it anyway because he has one of the best halfbacks in all of Ultimate Team.
That's the narrative?
On his squad out there. You'll notice Gibs with an elite front across his offensive line. Unlike what you've seen on this channel before when I play with a gold offensive line, man of the people, a couple crossing routes. Chris Carter, the legend receiver. Very good across the middle of the field. Able to haul in that one. Good work by SGibs, who's just trying to find a way to get comfortable. He's trying to make this desk his own. He's unable to sit up properly. He's got a very comfortable chair. He goes to LT up the middle, tries to truck past midfield. 2 carries, 8 yards, picked up 10 there. A nice job by him. Gibbs looking out for Sean Taylor on his opponent's defense. A elite item, probably the best player in Ultimate Team at this point, but he's so rare. It's hard to know. Gibbs goes underneath. So notice on that play, he had a hard flat. He said, you know what, enough of that out route to LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm going to adapt, I'm going to adjust. Then Gibbs made the checkmate move and was able to get 6 yards. Let's see. Derek Carr, SGibs quarterback. SGibs keeping Michael Vick on the bullpen. He keeps him in the bench just in case he needs to bust him out for a play or 2. You don't have Vick on this team?
No,
you don't have Vick on this team.
I do not have Vick on this team.
Is this your salary cap team?
I do not have Vick on this team.
So you don't have a Michael Vick on your account that you log into?
Do not have Michael Vick on this team.
So Michael Vick's not
Michael
on
Vick
this
is not
team.
in this lineup.
So
Michael Vick is not in this lineup.
So you don't keep him as backup quarterback?
I do not. I'm the man of people. Just
so you don't have a Michael Vick on this account?
Just so that I can say I don't play with him, and you do.
You're not a man of people at all.
I am.
You're a phony. That's the horriblest running I've ever seen.
You just said the horriblest.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
The horriblest.
So bad.
The horriblest running I've ever. It was the horriblest running I ever did see, my friend.
Good. Also, horriblest running part 2. That was terrible. You had a lane. The whole. Gibbs staying in the single back. Tight, having some success. Going to the flat. Tony Gonzalez. That's a legend tight end. Pretty good. You might have heard of him. Not the Red Sox prospect, Tony Gonzalez, but the receiver, Tony Gonzalez. Does anybody know where Tony Gonzalez went to college?
That's man.
Cover 1. Gibbs decides not to throw the out. Instead goes backbreaker. Chris Carter. Poor decision to possession catch that one. No, it wasn't, folks. You have to make sure you possess it. You don't know if his safeties are capable of breaking on the football. So when you throw that route, don't be passing real tender. You gotta hold down that A button and make sure that he catches it. Yeah, I probably could have racked that for a wide open touchdown, but instead I'm gonna just snap the ball, run it, possibly get hit stuck, and then blame the game. Just kidding. LaShawn McCoy, not LaDainian Tomlinson, another very, 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 very high-rated, rare halfback like a Pokemon, goes into the end zone for 7. He possession caught that only so he could show you the multitude of halfbacks he has at his disposal. No Michael Vick here on this team, but SGibs has pulling out all the other stops to go up 7-0 over the Iced Messiah, who's got a pretty good squad himself. You can't see that. Gibbs kick, short, Tyler Eifert. Wrapped up by Mike Evans. Mike Evans, yes, that 89-plus amazing 6'5" receiver is on SGibs special teams. Wide receiver number 9 on the depth chart, but number 1 on the wing package for special teams for SGibs. Smart. Okay, nickel 335 here for Gibbs. Guys, make sure you follow the channel. We do this every Wednesday. We take your questions. We break them down live on the air. You can also follow on youtube.com/SGibs.
Brady now on first down.
What play was that?
Out.
It's a gain of 11
Nash.
yards at
Okay.
time, and it produces
Cover 4 drop from Gibbs.
Charles, what's
Dislikes the
here
meta,
offensively? You gave up the
but plays the
touchdown
meta.
pretty quickly.
He's smart.
Would it have
He's smart.
changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think
Willie
so.
McGinnis,
I think in most
the
cases,
legend.
just down a touchdown,
Scrolls over. C. Charles Haley, the legend.
should be a wrong way to go.
291 safeties. Chris Harris, Eric Weddle. Roll out quarterback. Gibbs not sure what to do, not sure where to use it, not good in space. Guy throws back across the middle, and Eric Berry, possession catches the pick, because that's what Gibbs decides to go. He pounds his chest and seemingly taunts the Ice Messiah.
Oh, that's not
that
what
play.
we're doing.
Did you not just pound your chest?
I'm not taunting the Ice Messiah.
You're not taunting the Ice Messiah.
Also to the right.
SGibs claims he is the father of dragons with his fire flame blitzes. Stated before this game that he would melt the Iced Messiah. If he came at him, he would spit hot fire from the left side of the defense and melt the Iced Messiah's passing attack. He's done it so far with Eric Berry. Here we go, 2nd and 3. Gibs gonna show off some of that impossible stick work. Impossible to do that in Madden. Hey, am I right? 7 carries, 30 yards, halfback dive up the middle. Gibbs does not know that this play, this game challenge is give Zfarls the controller at halftime to see if he can hang on to the injury lead. Hey man, this is my account. I'm 0-2 in the season. I think we're getting demoted for the 7th time this year, so I gotta make sure that I hang on to the sticks on this one. PA shot. Derek Carr, tier 4 conductor, throws to Antonio Brown, who possession catches it. 7 for 7 for 78 yards. Gibbs swagging on himself right now. He's pretty happy. He's not going to smile, but he's going to let you know. I had a possession catch that one, Charles, huh? Sometimes that's what you got to do. Derek Carr tosses it out to the right on the pitch. Gibbs with some horrible running, outruns 2 blockers, decides to try a last-ditch effort with LaDainian Tomlinson to spin back towards the middle, but can only pick up 5. Real missed opportunity there for Gibbs in this offense, but what else did you expect from the guy? Poor stick work, poor fundamentals. Like if Derek Carr looking, scan, throwing to X. No, he goes to the corner and he throws the exact same pick he showed us how to throw earlier on this week of Madden, the tips portion of the show.
Except he was on that.
He was dying to see. He was dying to see if he could fit that in. Sean Taylor, Muckmaster, making the pick against SGibs. Was that a dot, Gibbs? Was that a DOT? No, it was the complete opposite. It was a Todd. The opposite of a dot. TOD. Bad stuff right there from Gibbs. Showed us, tried to convince us. Ew. Poor running from the Ice Messiah. Maybe his fingers are freezing because it seemed like he was unable to do that. That was a shot to the chest.
He made a good use.
That's fine.
He made a good use.
That was fine. Gibbs here trying to take command of this game, but he also wants to keep it a little bit interesting. I form from the Messiah. 4-4 defense, I think, from Gibbs. Route across the middle. He gets bombed deep. Oh, and this gentleman must have seen the problem game against Gibbs. If you guys missed that one. 56 burger, where he was just bombed deep consistently. Fortunately for Gibbs on that play, his elite corner legend, Rod Woodson, was able to recover. But bad defense. Great call by our opponent to see that here he hits the out, and the computer makes the tackle for Gibbs as he was too afraid to click on. I could actually feel him shaking when that ball was caught in space, but thankfully Rod Woodson was very strong. Sean Taylor keeping the Iced Messiah in this one. He's going to toss it out to the right. Will Gibbs be ready? Falls it back in. Marshawn Lynch, halfback.
2 yards on
Not
the
great.
carry there, it'll be 2nd down.
This stage, this one.
After that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
The drop back.
Anything going and really
Great
the offensive
dot.
line not helping him much. Toward the sideline.
3 for 5. Tom Brady carving up his biggest fanboy, SGibs. Only leading the Patriots to a 2-2 record so far through the season. A shock to all 17 real Pats fans out there. Gibbs, not one of them, but we'll get his thoughts on Tom Brady's average performances so far for the Patriots this season. See how he feels.
2 minutes to play here.
Shout out to Rockets in the chat, guys. We showed you earlier some Football Outsiders players on Mudhead. Make sure you go and check those guys out. 2 great special teams options if you're able to check that out.
And on the outside, they're playing press.
Out routes tough. Gotta put in some stuff. That's Khalil Mack at D tackle because you can. Good shoot through defense by Eric Berry, however. Poor tackling. And that's gotta frustrate Gibbs. He's disappointed. He managed to actually get through the gap one time, and then he couldn't deliver the hit in the backfield. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. The Ice Messiah keeping it going. And the play action gives screens. Blitz gets picked up, but able to shed a block is one of his multiple elite defenders. I couldn't see what elite defender that was. I missed it, my glasses. But just assume it's any elite guy. prevents Tom Brady from scrambling. You don't really want to scramble with Tom Brady, to be honest.
On second down,
Pressure comes in from the right. Gibbs sends the spy. He throws back to sideline. Tom Brady can't deliver. The strike. His opponent is in field goal range. Will Gibbs try and blitz him here and knock him out, put him on the edge of field goal range, or not?
They've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half.
Halfback angle. That was pretty good.
I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
and they certainly have kept them on their toes.
Julian Edelman, great route runner if that's the flashback Edelman. That's a guy that you guys should all consider for your team. Keenan Allen did get Football Outsider today with 91. And, ooh, he goes. Gibbs takes his final timeout. Likes to spend those. Once used to keep them. Ooh, his opponent's going to go for it. This is really bad decision, but that's fine. Let's see if he goes out route. Let's see. Looks like Gibbs getting stuck on the D lineman. Oh, he's trying to lurk it, and Chris Harris bails out SGibs, who then stumbles like a drunk man out of a bar.
He auto went out. He auto went out.
And SGibs said, you know what? It's probably better if Chris Harris auto stick skills rather than me try and take over and keep him in the end zone, because clearly my run game stick skill has been poor thus far. Trying to spin move. Why, we don't know. We'll try and find out. Second and 2. Gibbs might have to pass to get this ball downfield. We'll see. He's consistently had poor passing reads all game long. Has even thrown an interception early in this one. Started out 7 for 7, but mostly little baby, tiny reads. Doesn't really mount up, back up to anything. Goes to trips left. Tomlinson, deep shot here. Derek Carr with his little power up. Oh, and Julian Edelman drops the ball, and Gibbs can't be happy about that. 7 for 9 now. His last 2 passes, a pick and an incompletion, starting to feel the pressure, starting to turn. Got good balance on offense. This is the most you've ever seen SGibs runs. He knows he can't pass against this tremendous defense of the Ice Messiah. He's trying to get motions out there. He's just trying to find a way for LaDainian Tomlinson to keep the yards moving. But then struggle. Let's see what he goes to. Bill's offense here. Trying to make some plays. Got the out route to the left. Steps up. Derek Carr trying to go deep, trying to be patient, trying to be the ball. Sean Taylor. Perfect time user pick. That's his second one of the game. That's the master Sean Taylor. 95 overall. Hey man, had to take a shot, man. Half was winding down, man. Had to take a shot, you know. Chris Carter, I thought in my leagues would you both get it, but I'm not used to playing guys that can lock me up like that. So it's tough. It's hard out there. And gives them the ball back. Opponent's got 3 timeouts. His opponent should get a field goal. His opponent should kick the field goal earlier, as I stated. Even though Gibbs made a bad user play on the D line and got bailed out by Chris Harris, he should have kicked the field goal. Those 3 points. Second and 4. 22 seconds. 22 seconds and another out route. First time out is taken from the Ice Messiah. First and 10.
As they stop it with 16 seconds
4-4 split. Gibbs deciding to call a 4-4 defense with 16 seconds left in the half. Bold strategy here. We'll see if it pays off, or if he is going to get burnt once again down the left sideline as he did earlier in the football game. He got to the 48-yard line. Looks like maybe Stephon Diggs caught that. Now he goes back to the 3-3-5. Perhaps he's hearing the chants of the chat. Corner route. Drag underneath. Ugly, ugly, ugly deep seam. Ray Lewis. Perfect timing user kick. Must have been a CPU play, because we know that there would be no way he has to drop back deep and actually Ray Lewis. Just be very unlikely. It would be rare. Be very rare. You're not seeing a unicorn or something like that. 4 seconds left in the half. Gibbs was able to get this ball out further than the 4-yard line, but now he's at the 8-yard line. You know, he gets some good turnovers, but the field position has lacked so far. Dad forced to throw from the Ice Messiah. He's got a couple picks today. Maybe he's just trying to catch up to the amount of picks Gibbs throw. We don't know at this point in the game what the Ice Messiah is thinking, but he gets ball at half, and he's got to move it. 7-0.
Here in quarter number 3. Fair catch called for and
flagpole.
about the 32-yard
I don't know. You can email me and I will pass it along.
Heading back out there.
3-3 wants to get Kurt Warner.
Ooh, what's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this?
First and 10.
Typically, what
Start
they're
of
doing
the
is
second
emphasizing
quarter.
the things that went well in the
Second
first
half.
and wanting more of that. Sure, you've
Gibbs looking to shoot in that backside gap, as he did so well in the first half. Where he missed that tackle, but fortunately Lewis gets in there. Your opponent's dumbfounded. Gibbs, what can you say about that?
Recipe works.
Interesting. 2nd and 12.
Now Brady throwing on 2nd down.
And Eric Weddle with the pick.
For the 4th time today. Picked off by the longtime
Tries to cannot. Why don't you kick a field goal? Leave me in and kick a field goal. Go 10-0. Because you want to score points before you go pick. Take 3. This guy gave me 3 points. See if he goes corner out. Let's see what he does. Good rush from the left, but good step up in the pocket from Gibbs, I will say. If he had dropped back further, that would have been potentially instant sack. Shout out to Orange Glad. Orange Glad flew in some great mailbag questions this week, Orange. We were able to get to a couple. Keep sending those types in. Those are great. We'll break those down.
They'll run it now out of the gun.
Daniel Tomlinson.
Down at the 18-yard line.
Fighting for the Gibster. Feels like he's been underused this game. Feels like he's had more yards left out on the field due to left stick direction from his
we just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
20-5. Redzone Plays. Let's see if Gibbs goes back to the out route. This guy's changing his defense or backing it off. What will it be? It could be a man-to-man coverage. LaDainian Tomlinson. 2-yard line. Does Gibbs go to the single back wing that he's so known for? Or does he change it up?
Back in New England, sometimes they like to call them the passing backs. They get the ball in different ways, don't they?
Skinny post? Is he going to throw a fade? What are you going to do, Gibbs? What are you going to do? Line read?
Could have been the MVP in the Super Bowl.
Run the ball?
Wasn't for a certain quarterback.
That he's over the line and into the end zone for a Patriot score.
Is that what happens? Is that the offensive line? Just getting the foot.
It's all on track.
So I've never seen that blocking for me. I know he's a bold offensive line, so we did. But he just blocked your stuff. Oh my gosh, that was epic.
It's good to make it 14-0.
The out is good. We showed you it earlier in the show. Why it happens, when it happens, what happens, and it's definitely something you do want to add to your game. Eifert decides to go with a catch.
And this is where...
And we're back here this week in Madden. Remember, you can follow Gibbs, who's on the sticks right now, at youtube.com/SGibs. I am at Zfarls, screaming off the right side. Charles Haley has 2 sacks on the day. 4-4 defense, very aggressive, but it seems to be working so far.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a
Eric Berry in the slot, going to get subbed out. Pat Pete get moved over. 2-4-5 double A gap. Have not seen much of this so far. And pressure's picked up. Route is wide open. Edelman catches it, hauls it in, gets some yards back. 4 picks for Tom Brady. 4 picks. Average performance for Tom Brady.
I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, You really can't hide what you're doing, and I think that right there.
Gibbs gonna send the pressure. Sauce, the gas gets picked up. C route was wide open. He doesn't throw it. Instead, he tips it deep. And user swap. I tell all my corners, break it up. Break it up. Break it up. I'll tell all my corners, break it up.
And that's what he did.
Break it up. 4th and 6 coming up. Game on the line. 14-0. He throws the pick right directly to Steve Atwater. And now it's mine.
Nope.
It's my turn.
I'm finishing the game. I'm finishing the game.
I will not. I'll play serious. I'll play serious.
No, under no circumstance. I'm finishing the game.
Let me run a pitch.
No.
Let me run a pitch.
No.
You're not manipulating. Let me run a pitch. Let me run a pitch.
No.
Let me run a pitch.
No.
You won this game.
No.
I won't do anything stupid.
No. It's no.
Let me run a pitch. Let me run one pitch. Let me run a pitch. Come on. You won this game. You melted on the side. Tag me in. Bear River says tag me in. Large Star says more pitch.
On 2nd down, here's Carr.
Ooh, he smashed you.
No.
Let me get one.
No.
One.
No.
The turnover
Carl.
in great field position.
No.
They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming.
Not even one.
Not even one.
Not even one.
You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Carr. Throw left side complete. That's Gonzalez. And this time he's able to take
4th and 7.
42.
A down and distance I easily could have gotten to.
It's 4th down.
Minute 3 to go. Derek Carr throws the out. Gibbs unable to adjust.
And he's going to go out of bounds at the 30.
Making me lead to believe he's not a great player.
That'll be a New England
Doesn't mean he's a
first
great player.
down and gain
It's
of
tough
12.
to adjust.
We always hear about guys wanting to make plays that quiet a crowd.
Not a man of the people, because the chat wants to see me on sticks. Wants to see me run a stick.
No.
Yeah.
Not right now.
One play.
Not
Not right now.
On a 4th down play.
You're already in field goal.
First, and that'll make it
Go
2nd
17
down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Tony Gonzalez? Who are your tight ends?
The
guys,
passing game is
No, I haven't
rolling.
heard
They've
one
got
of them.
another first down.
Tony Gonzalez,
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive
You gonna take it to the 4th quarter?
It doesn't matter. You
Maybe.
just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and
I'm finishing my game. I'm finishing my game. Nope.
Tag him in.
Nope.
Tag him in.
Nope.
Tag him in. Tag him in. Tag him in. Tag him in. Which of your 2 picks today was worse?
He made a good user play on one of them. To be fair.
Tomlinson. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
Shout out to Mute is cool.
From the 3-yard line once more.
Wow.
Now here's 3rd
Because
and
I do.
Carr going to throw. Under pressure now, and he's going to go
Chris
down.
Baker wins the
Sack
sack.
back around the 8.
This would be where you would sub in Vick.
In there to drop it
If
for a
anyone's not in
4-yard
there.
loss.
But if you had him,
I don't have him on my
I know he's not. You know, I know you don't have him on your line, but if you had him on your team, then you're item binder.
Oh my God.
You blocked another one of your kicks. You're very lucky. You're very lucky. It'll be 13-0.
And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. And you figure with that, this game's pretty well out of reach.
It would take a heck of a comeback at
You mean
this
special
point.
teams?
No.
How come you don't have great special teams?
I do.
With time winding
Do you?
down here in the 4th.
Have you ever actually gotten a fumble?
This will be taken short.
Your fumbles hold.
And they're going to wind up with
Hits
pretty
it
good
right
starting
Did he
field
fumble?
position as they get it up past the 30.
Do you get a lot of fumbles?
And now back out comes
No, do you
the
get a lot of
offense. And they've
Do
sort
you?
of lost their
What
way,
player
partner.
generates
How do they
fumbles?
recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, have your fun. All right,
Throw it out the window.
yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just
He knows this
fine.
one's over.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. A loss of a full 3 yards and now it's second down.
Fire is one.
That play brought back memories.
Is
Watching
Khaleesi your
him
favorite
straight
Game of
out,
Thrones character?
letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead
Jon
in the
Snow?
fourth quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more
Shout out to
time
Sooner 55.
to do it that way, didn't they?
That's good. What round is that?
Left side
That's
caught by Diggs.
match game.
Nice gain of 21 yards. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Comes over to my house, takes my desk space, takes my Xbox, my controller, my interwebs. Won't even tag me in for one?
He's got him in, complete. It's Julian Edelman.
Like, you're going to lose the shutout. Let me lose it for you, and then you can blame it
Just
on
shy
me.
of the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for
5
14
inch.
yards. And
Sir Funk, I think this cold brew's been working this game, huh? Alright?
Brady now on
It's-
first down.
Once again, extremely hot in here.
Very hot.
It is so hot in here.
10, just shy of the 5 at the 6.
However long it takes to wear off, Sir
For
Funk.
24 yards.
That's where I'll be.
Now Brady again.
Thank you.
That's just a good
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I'm finishing the game.
Let me get a pitch.
No. Under no circumstances
Let
are
me
you
run
touching
the
the controller
Why not?
during a shutout. Not gonna happen.
You're on offense.
There it is.
He's got to quit.
Game's over. SGibs wins.
Evil has won. Fear has conceded.
Victory. Showed you how it was done.
Now we can't see that user that our opponent had. What playbook has deuce close and tight slots? PGH finest.
Jets.
Jets, Jets. They don't have stretch though from single back, but they do have clam, angle, misdirection. Angle's not quick audible. They also have gun split close. It's pretty good.
Boom. There it is.
Well, glad to see you get your first win on the season,
It's
Gibs.
not my first win of the season.
I mean, it clearly is your first win of the season.
I'm 89-25. Do the math. 100. If you double it, I'm 180 and 50. Do the math.
What if you triple?
Double it again.
What if you triple?
Double it again.
What if you triple?
360 and 100, Zfarls.
Proud of that.
Thanks.
Jets. Okay. Guys, reminder to follow this channel. Go over to youtube.com/SGibs. Follow there. youtube.com/Zfarls and check that out. We'll go over a bunch of content there. You'll see some gameplay as well. And this weekend, remember to keep an eye out for some upcoming matchups. Follow the @Madden League Ops Twitter. It's official Twitter, so good one to follow. Get some info on the games that are coming up this weekend. You want to be ready for these ones. Dreeny Prodigy, Dubby Franchise, Rose Bowl, and Joel. I like that it's Joel backwards. That's how it works. Stiffmeister, AKG, you got Matster Gamer, you got D Jones, you've got Killer Mike against Scheeman, you've got Shugs. You got some great games coming up. So make sure to be ready for Thursday. Lots of action going on.
I'm gonna make